So in other news, right? Germanic Hordes have now been released for SPQR, right? I love Germanic Hordes because they beat up Romans, and I love Romans because they beat up Germanic Hordes.
Yeah, so this is a new set of different characters and stuff they've done for SPQR. So they've all been sort of like reboxed and done in their new material that they've been using, which I believe is like resin and stuff, isn't it? That they've been using.
Spincast resin.
But but it looks very, very cool indeed. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here. So you've got the characters leading the way, which is very cool. I always love seeing anything to do with the Germanic Hordes and that kind of thing, because it's one of the things that's been really fascinating looking at that sort of like ancient warfare period, and especially when you see games set within the sort of period of SPQR on the tabletop, is you've got those really nice uniform Romans, which obviously people love and enjoy painting and things like that. And then you've got the slightly more wild and crazy looking barbarian Germanic hordes and things that are, hitting on the gates of Rome and that kind of thing. And I think it's really nice to see that really good contrast between stuff, especially when it comes to painting and playing around with brighter colors and that kind of thing when you see their uniforms. So it's really cool to see them doing some stuff for this. And with this release, you've got a little bit of the sort of like that backbone of the army. So you've got the basic warriors, you've got archers and some cavalry as well. I haven't put them in here, but there's also some Skyclad warriors. So if you want to get snipping, Justin, there's some options there too, which is very cool.
Oh, so there is Germanic Willies, is there?
Where are the Skyclads? Have we got them in here?
He said he hasn't put them in here.
We'll have to get them.
I feel safe today.
You could open the final image, however, if you want to see. You can't see their tiny, tiny todgers, but they are there in that rather large 1,000 denarii point Germanic warband. But yeah, it's another cool, interesting sort of like look at creating some new stuff for SPQR and sort of skirmishy gaming in the ancient world, as it were. But yeah,
I'm impressed by the very first hero on the horse. I'm mostly impressed by the horse being able to keep its legs upright with the size of the fellow on the back.
Oh yeah, there they
are, Justin. There they are, the Skyclads.
It's funny. Some of the ones down at the club are just really annoyed because every time the Skyclad warriors come in, they sell out, and they're just sitting there going, "Damn it, I wanted them."
I have. Do they not realize that you've pre-ordered it every week now that they've come in?
I have not.
Man, I went out there and found 3 pairs of broken clippers that had just been completely worn out. On the top, I have 2 things to mention about SPQR while we're on. If you are a Cult of Games member, this weekend we are doing 30% off at all SPQR products. Okay, so if you too want to get a complete Skyclad army to inflict your flappy justice onto your opponents the way Justin does, this is your weekend to get a proper price cut.
Well done, Mark. This is the one you were on about, Jerry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's me on a horse.
Yep,
it
yellow
totally
belly.
Is, yeah.
It's very interesting. I do like the look of the Germanic tribes. There's a couple of different ones there, but I'm damned if I can remember their names.
Second thing I've got to mention on this is Jerry has come up with a beautiful way to do flesh, Justin.
Okay,
so whenever you actually come to do your fantasy Skyclad army, Jerry can actually take you through a fast and sensual method of painting the flesh.
Look, that's not how I paint.
It's cork brown and red beige.
It's fast, it's rough, and I finish way too early.
Cork brown, red beige, spot of purple.
Go back to these pictures. Will this give me what sort of skin tone will that give me? This sort of skin tone, or what are we talking about?
You'll see on XLBS
yeah, you can
tomorrow.
See tomorrow, yeah.
Oh,
XLBS tomorrow.
Okay.
He's got this lovely skin tone. So, and Justin, I tell you, man, I will get you those 2 paints and one of the nice kind of like burgundy purple paints from the contrast range.
Thanks, Warren.
To help speed you up.
Quite okay.
And I'll get you the insane detail brush from Army Painter.
Is there any such thing as insane detail clippers? Because these are tiny, tiny guys.
Yeah. Here, dude. We all need to be represented in gaming on the tabletop. I am with you, Tiny Todger Man.
So these guys here could fight what? Imperial Rome then? Is that who these guys can battle?
Yeah.
Can these guys also battle the earlier Romes then as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're quite well off when you start hitting Celts and Gauls and Germanic tribesmen because they were Johnny on the spot for many, many years. So you could throw them into Rome, you could throw them into Carthage even if you really wanted to.
The only thing you'd probably have to change is some of the looted equipment that they're carrying around.
Yeah.
But that's about it. So
are these the guys who eventually then sacked Rome?
That was other barbarians.
Yeah, that was the.
They were dead
Goths.
by then.
So Visigoth, Ostrogoths were both further east than Germania. So
right, I've got it right.
Balkans,
okay.
North Balkan.
I was learning a little bit. Right, some dude on YouTube was doing this thing about Rome and how there are about 5 or 6 people alive today who theoretically could be the emperor of Rome.
Nice.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So Rome established itself, right? Went through a bunch of leaders. And then at one point then divided its leadership up into sub-leadership because the empire had got too big for one person to rule. Then Constantine, I believe, brought it all back together again.
Yes.
Okay, for a while. At which point he created Constantinople in the east, which basically moved the Roman Empire from the west, from Rome, and put the Roman Empire's capital in Constantinople in...
Did it though?
Turkey.
Yeah,
Did it though, or the Roman Empire split into 2 at that point?
No, but just after that.
It was after that it split in 2. So it then did split in 2, where you had your Roman Emperor in the east and your Roman Emperor in the west.
Right.
Okay. One of them wore them weird stripy socks and their feet rolled up whenever they got killed. But anyway, I digress.
Are you not thinking of the Wicked Witch?
Oh, sorry. Yes, it was the Wicked Witches.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting then is you then have this timeline that goes like this. And what happens is it goes like this, and then Rome gets sacked by the Goths.
Right.
At which point Rome kind of doesn't exist from that point on a little bit. So your true Romans are then your Byzantines. Okay, so the Byzantines are pretty much what we would have expected. They considered themselves to be the Romans.
Right.
And then the Roman Empire in the east then fractured into 3 kind of sub-factions.
Right.
And it's... I don't have all the details. I know I'm going to leave many of you wondering, so what was the point of all of this?
Basically, everybody out there in TV land, if you want to find out how this story of Warren ends, make sure and jump in on the Cult of Games Discord, because the Juvies are going to be pummeling Warren relentlessly and pumping him for information.
Yeah, what has happened is that Warren has discovered how amazing historical stuff is when it comes to Rome and stuff like that, and then has realized it's far too much of it to fit into one brain.
Yeah, it's really huge, and that's why the little Germanics or little cocktail sausage dudes,
Okay.
But anyway, it's Rome. Rome was interesting because I always looked at Byzantines or
Busies.
Busies.
Byzantium.
I always looked at Busies and wondered, what are you?
They're basically the last remnants of Rome.
But they are Romans. They are Romans. And so that's quite late because that's after Charlemagne. I believe there's still Byzantines and stuff. So, Charlemagne was the last emperor of Rome. Okay. As far as I'm aware.
Holy Roman Empire. That's different.
So that's a different thing. Yeah. So Charlemagne was the last emperor of... So he... Basically, the Pope thought that Charlemagne was a cool dude and said, you're a cool dude. You can be the emperor of Rome.
There's a reason Warren doesn't work as a college lecturer. I hope you realize this now, folks.
But there was a lady who was in charge of the Eastern Roman Empire.
Yeah, but
Empress Catherine or something like that there. We'll call her Cat, right? So there's the Empress Cat, and then there's the Charlemagne. So Charlemagne was the main man in the West.
Would they ever have faced these Germanic tribes that we've been talking about?
But wait, I'm getting to that bit. They had a chance to recombine the Roman Empire. Because if the Charlemagne had got it on with the cat,
here's the interesting thing.
But it didn't happen.
No, I could be wrong. I could be butchering history like him.
Yeah.
But the Holy Roman Empire was very Germanic.
Incredibly Germanic.
Okay.
The Holy Roman Empire was basically sort of Germany before Germany. It was like that region.
Okay.
There was no Germany or anything at the time.
Yeah.
So they didn't need to butt up against these guys because they essentially were what these guys turned into.
Okay.
What? They didn't need to be those guys because they were essentially what those guys turned into.
Something like that.
Some dude on YouTube can clarify.
Here's
this
the other
for you
interesting bit. Is Rome like there is a pope as well as Charlemagne?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Pope was the one that granted Charlemagne the emperorship.
Rome wasn't inside the Holy Roman Empire or was inside the Holy Roman Empire?
I don't know, but it wasn't built in a day.
But we've certainly butchered the history in one day.
We do need to kind of figure out at which point the holy part entered the Holy Roman Empire. You know, was it early years or the late years? I don't know.
See, next time you open your mouth, a set of notes would be good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next in the news.
Anyway, so 30% off all SPQR this weekend. There are Romans in there, if I can identify them, but they're in there. And so F-bomb ×2, yeah. And so they're in there, 30% off. Get your Germanics. Justin is still definitely going to either get given or create a fantasy Skyclad Army.
Oh crap! Christmas is coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, man. So I will give you the gift of myrrh. And
is that what you're calling the first box of guys?
And Jerry's going to give you the gift of realistic fleshiness. You're going to love it, man.